Welcome to the Soundwizards podcast.
Good sound check, Jim, guys.
Yeah.
Yes!
Carter, how's the sound in there?
That was fun.
Cool. That was the right way to do it. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the Soundwizards podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Andy is going to get a drink.
Carter's gonna have a
Right,
smoke.
so-
Understandable.
Let's all
I need a
pick-
drink myself.
Let's all picture Andy going over to the drinks. He's coming back now. He's looking kind of like a locomotive of funk.
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
so this episode of the Soundwizards podcast, we get to do again at the Wire Recording Studio. Our friends Carter and Drew are our audio production team this evening, who are helping us sound as cool as we hear sound.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I mean, all the work
thank
and
you
effort
for
it goes
having
into
us.
making it sounds good.
Just stay in there and don't
Yeah.
come in here, because it really brings down the vibe when you guys come in here. So my name is True Lawton. I am the gentleman who started this. I started with my friends Mike and Carter. Mike Hidalgo, you're playing drums tonight. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Mike Hidalgo, and I play drums in a band called Obsolete Machines, and I also volunteer with an organization called Kids in a New Groove, which any musicians out there I highly suggest checking out. And I love playing the drums, and it's such an awesome thing to get to jam with all these different badass artists in Austin. Like Andy, that Moog. Oh shit.
It's a neat toy, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Andy, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
I'm Andy Leonard. I play bass, synth, and Ableton programming type stuff with Trouble in the Streets. I've been doing music for like ever, like 28 years,
That's pretty cool.
something like
Nice.
that. But I've been like professionally-ish trying to do it for like 12 years.
Nice.
So here I am
Congratulations.
today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Describe what you're playing for us today. And actually, before you do that, come here and I think this thing should be flipped upside down.
Oh, cool.
This is a learning experience with all these lapel mics.
Yes. All of you are
Sure.
learning with us as we are.
So what I would say, how I would describe what you're playing today is the front of a spaceship with some knobs on it. That's what I think you're
So
playing.
that's pretty accurate. This was designed by NASA, and
Nice. I bet NASA can make some.
well, they
amazing-
claim to have designed it, but I'm pretty sure they just got it from aliens. No, it's a Moog synthesizer. It's a analog synthesizer, so it has little transistor oscillators that make a pitch. There's all kinds of fun ways you can bend those pitches and send it through all kinds of filtered effects, cutting off the highs and the lows. And,
Yeah.
and then I got it hooked up to the delay and chorus pedal, so I can make a lot of sounds. It's got a huge range from very low to very screechingly high, which I'll try to avoid. And it's all monophonic too. I can't do chords with it, so it's limited in that aspect, but it makes up for it with all kinds of other fun.
Andy, that was fun, man. shit. That's
Oh,
pretty
my heart's
cool.
racing.
Jamming. Hell yeah, both of y'all.
But I would like to thank for that groove, Dead by
Yeah.
Outkast. That's totally that beat. You know what I mean? Like that's that beat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I think that's the cool thing about drum beats, right? Is like you can play a beat and then whoever the musicians are, it'll just be a completely different tapestry
Yep.
over what that's doing, which is really cool. And yeah, I love that song, and it's cool to hear that beat, but with different shit going on. You know,
Yeah.
that was fun.
You got a takeaway? You got a bumper sticker takeaway?
Yeah, no, I mean that was a really great groove, and it, like, yeah, to echo what Mike said, like, I love that kind of that drum beat is so like, and it's a great classic drum beat, and it makes it's just such like a palette to play on top of.
You know, it's fun. Like the more you do that groove and the bass drum, what I think is cool is like grooving over one thing. Is that the bass drum becomes independent, and then you feel where the different things to hit are in between. If that makes any sense.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes of me playing bass, every time, the first 5 minutes is me going, oh, don't follow the melody, follow the rhythm. Like, I just have to keep telling myself, because I think I'm just used to playing guitar, you know, but,
Yeah.
and I also get lost in playing bass as a guitar, you know, oh, cool, bass solos,
Yeah.
rhythm and melody at the same time, who'd have thought?
Rhythm and melody.
Okay, y'all ready for the next part of the show?
Yes, let's do
Okay.
it.
John Paul, in his hands right now, almost in his hands right now, has, Carter, are you ready for your introduction here? He has the Wheel of Influence.
The wheel.
Thank you, Carter.
Do we have a water by chance?
Yeah, if we could get a couple waters, that would be really awesome. I'm sorry that we're bossing people around in the other room.
Yeah,
I could run.
apologize about that.
The Wheel of Influence works like this. We're going to spin it. It's an app, and it might have an ad. We'll just deal with that. We're going to spin it, and on there are some things that, you know, they're just topics to talk about. A hell gig story, favorite band, that kind of thing. But before we get there, you know, Mike always brings up a great question is, how do you actually consume music, new music that you're listening to nowadays? Because that landscape is changing a lot, and it's kind of an interesting time in the world where radio is turning into two different things, and YouTube has whatever, and so Mike, why don't you start? How do you listen to music?
Mostly these days it's through either Spotify, YouTube, Bandcamp. I don't use iTunes, but I also have an Android, so that may influence that.
Thank you, Drew, for bringing us.
Yes,
drinks.
thank you, Drew. I appreciate that.
Soda water.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But that's the main thing, I guess because YouTube pretty much has everything you could want to listen to, and Spotify. And I find myself, listening to those when I'm, I guess, listening to more, bigger music, bigger bands and stuff, and then maybe I check out Bandcamp when I'm looking at local music and buy their album. Like I bought Trouble in the Streets album on Bandcamp.
Really?
Which you should go do. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's
They
the
got-
spot to buy it.
Bandcamp, gets money directly to the artists, so that it's just easier.
How do you listen to new music these days?
A lot of what Mike said. It's so there's just like so many different ways now,
Right.
So I wouldn't. Yeah, there's so many. I have a Spotify account, so for that sometimes. YouTube's great for discovering stuff. I feel like I kind of go back and forth in my phase of like, am I listening to my old favorites or am I like discovering?
Yeah.
And if I'm discovering, it's anywhere from a link on Facebook, which could be YouTube or Spotify or SoundCloud. But if it's my old stuff, I still have like an old iTunes account. So like I have like my old favorites, all from either stuff I bought or mostly just CDs I uploaded onto that and stuff like that. So
What a weird thing.
yeah,
Like,
right. CDs. It's like a disc.
Well, anything physical now, right? Like everything's going digital.
Which is
Everything exists in a computer somewhere.
It's something.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It still blows my mind sometimes that like people buy our CDs at shows because I'm like, is that
What are you
really
doing with
how
that?
you're gonna listen to
Yeah.
it? But I mean, it's awesome.
The older folks like me, we still
Yeah.
listen to CDs
Yeah. I
every
only
now and
have one
again.
place to still listen to the CD. It's in my car. But
Yeah.
So,
I've got Amplified Heat CD in my truck.
there you go.
Yep. And then, you know what? The last CD that I had was given to me by a punk band that I met here at the Mosaic Sound Collective. And they showed up, got locked out of the building, and let them in, and they just followed. We didn't speak the same language. They just followed me all the way to my office. And I was like, oh, you guys are coming in here? And they're like, yeah, we're coming in here. I'm like, okay. And then they just checked out the office, gave me a CD. They're called Katsuyo Tokyo, I think.
Katsuyo Tokyo.
Katsuyo Tokyo.
Katsuyo
And they gave me a
Tokyo.
record.
Katsuyo
It's awesome.
Tokyo.
Nice.
It's got like 20 tracks on it. The last 4 or 5 have no vocals. They're just like them jamming.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty
I-
cool.
That's a great idea. I'm going to start following people home and just...
Just give them
And
CDs.
they'll be like, that'll be $10.
Yeah,
25% instrumental.
yeah.
But would you have to go to Japan in order for it to work? Because they
Probably.
came from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
would love to
I'll
go
do
play
it.
Japan.
I mean,
That'd
good
be
excuse
awesome.
to go to Japan.
Oh yeah.
Okay, new rule today.
That's definitely a
Can't
dream.
give out CDs until you're in another country. Done.
Yes.
So let's do the Wheel of Influence.
Let's
do it.
I
I'm
rolled
ready.
It. It's a beautiful sound.
Let's have
Prepare myself.
who wants to go first? I did it last time. I'm happy to go first because this is my crazy ride.
I can go first if you'd like.
Okay, Mike, you go first.
All right, cool.
Spin that.
Let's do it.
You want a crazy effect while I do it?
It's got a thing.
Oh,
I don't know if we can hear it, but it does
Yeah, you have to
it
hook it
there.
up. You have to hold it up to your microphone.
Tested it.
Spinning, 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 spinning.
If you got the same one as last time, we do it a different one.
The radiant plumbing and air conditioning.
Every time. I heard you spinning it over here, John.
It sounded great.
Artists who shaped your music. Ooh,
There you go.
Artist?
that's a good one. Okay. When I was younger, my mom would listen to a lot of country in the car, so I kind of grew up, through my young, early adult years, primarily listening to that. But as soon as I turned 12 or 13, I got Metallica's Master of Puppets.
Nice.
And that was just a game changer for me.
John Paul's fist bumping in the air right now.
And I was like, what is this? This is amazing. And, that led me to all sorts of different metal albums, which led me to, I feel kind of lucky that I grew up in the 90s because we had Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Rage Against the Machine and Tool and Nirvana and like all these really badass bands.
Good people making good art.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a really cool time to listen to all these amazing artists. And one artist would influence ideas and topics that would introduce me to other artists, not necessarily just music, but also books or authors and comedians and just different ways of thinking, which is really cool. And then, I got older and then I started listening to like old school blues music, like Son House. When I got into drumming, I started drumming when I was 24. And so when I got into drumming, I started listening to all kinds of different music with regard to like progressive metal, because my first band was a two-man band, progressive metal band, with like 13-minute songs and 12 changes and just
Been
craziness. it was fun. So
Was there a specific musician in that band that really, like, was it Lars who, like, did something to kind of
No,
push
it was just,
you,
I
or-
think the overall, the way it sounded, and I'd never heard anything like it before. And yeah, Metallica introduced me, like a lot of other people I'd imagine, to that whole, style of music. And, that just led to a bunch of different badass bands. And like I was saying, then I started getting the blues music and old school slide and Son House, like I was saying, and oh my God, I'm forgetting. What's
Junior
his name?
Kimbrough.
Junior Kimbrough, hell yeah, he's R.L. Burnside,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff, and the Black Keys. And as I started learning, drums, I would just start learning more like Afro-Cuban. I would just look up different ways of drumming and different styles of music, and yeah, it's just kind of this whole evolution. And stuff that I didn't like before, I kind of appreciate it now with regard to how tasteful you have to make it to sound good to that specific genre, like country drumming. On the surface it seems really simple, but there's really subtle like grooves and accents that make it sound like good, like really.
Jamming, man. It feels like you're out over a cliff. When I remember trying to sit in with a country band one time on guitar, and thinking to myself 5 minutes before I started, I was like, "This is gonna be so easy." And it started going, and I was like having a heart attack.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play this crap.
Yeah.
This is crazy,
Yep. And it's kind of funny, yeah. The more you start to learn, the more you realize, oh shit, I don't know, I don't know anything.
It goes deep.
Yeah.
It is a deep rabbit hole.
So yeah, I guess
Official answer.
artists, Rage Against the Machine, Tool, Soundgarden, The Black Keys, R.L. Burnside, Sunhouse, and Outkast.
Okay. Yeah. Bringing it back around. All right, John Paul, you're next.
That's proud.
We're gonna do John Paul, Andy, me.
I rolled already, and I got current music you're into.
Okay.
Last night, I listened to music for like 4 hours, and I only listened to one song on repeat, which is like potentially a bad habit, but one that I enjoy.
Sometimes it feels good to lick the wound.
And I had to look it up, so you probably heard it, my phone coughing the information up. But I Had a Dream That You Were Mine is the name of an album by an artist called Hamilton Leithauser. It's the first time I've ever said it out loud, and I don't know if I said it right.
You got a head nod from Carter, so.
Word.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Hamilton Leithauser.
And the song is When the Truth Is Ellipsis. And it's been breaking my heart.
Are you brave enough to play a couple seconds into your lapel mic?
Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe even before we start singing, because...
But on the podcast, it'll just be what?
Yeah, because it's not loud. We can't do this.
Just go look it up, guys.
Tell me you don't feel sad.
I'm crying over here.
That's beautiful.
It's actually kind of nice.
That's wonderful.
That's cool.
But it wasn't up to me, I guess, which is kind of nice about the way, like, you hear a song. And the work that I do is, like, I listen to more music that I don't choose than I do. And you end up finding the shit you really like because of it. Because if I just get onto my Spotify, it's going to feed me a bunch of shit that I half like.
Listen to.
But when that I half like, and it's enough to put together a playlist for me. But when I go to shows, you find out something entirely different, something new.
That's wonderful. Are they a local band or no?
I don't think so.
No.
It was nope.
Where did you find that song?
I was about to say that, and I didn't want to admit it. I think it was like in the end credits of a pretty shitty television show. I think I was really stoned the previous night at like 4 a.m. and the phone ended, and my night ended shazamming that song. And so the next night, I just listened to that song on repeat.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
I totally understand. There's certain songs that kind of grip you. And you just kind of want to devour them. And, that's cool, man.
That's awesome.
You're not alone.
Absolutely.
John, will you walk the wheel of misfortune over to Andy?
Yeah. What just happened was he tried to spin the circular wheel
We're doing a
instead of
fundraiser
press
for a
the
real
button
wheel.
that says spin.
Go fund me.
I got accomplishment in music.
Hell yeah.
All right. That's
Sweet.
pretty cool.
Yeah. There's definitely been some good things that have happened. Let me think. What is one that I can focus on?
Mike and I can do a mini jam while you're thinking.
There you go. No, I would say.
Best band of the year is pretty badass.
Yeah, that's good.
Pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
fucking cool.
I was wondering if it should be more like career or more like as a musician personally.
As your lead.
Yeah, so I'll go the route of the musician. I would say getting back into keyboards and like letting it re-expand my knowledge of music in more depth. I feel like I was kind of at a plateau before then musically, where I feel like on bass, it's easy to only go so far and feel like that's all you need to know about music because, you're holding down the root and the 4s and 5s and just getting grooves. And so I was kind of stuck in there. So after getting the keyboard again, it just kind of reignited my interest in learning theory and how it all actually works. So,
The wizard part.
yeah, the wizard part, yeah, and how to actually like form melodies and chord progressions and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of you can definitely do it on bass, but I feel like bass is it doesn't necessarily lend itself to that, so you don't have to. And most bands don't want you to.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
shut up.
They're like,
what are
okay,
you doing?
cool.
Playing
Thanks, bro.
chords on a bass and playing melodies and solos and whatever. Like, just.
But that's
stick
really
to
cool
the
that you
groove.
get to experiment with that.
Yeah.
Trouble in the Streets and really, fine tune sounds and make them sound awesome, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna spin this thing.
Ever since I heard the thing, I was thinking about what my nightmare show to talk about would be if that came up, but I'm kind of glad it didn't.
So I spun current music you're into as well. Let me think about that. Who am I listening to?
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Coming back.
You did it for the
Flavored water or
nookie.
whatever. I think. Let's see.
I bought that album. I'm just going to say that. I did.
Tattoo. Got a tattoo.
Yeah.
A song comes to mind immediately, and it's a song called "Fugue in D Minor" by the band Egg. And I've been really getting back into some, obviously because we're doing this weird jam podcast, I've been trying to get into jam bands. And and so my Spotify playlist of weird 70s jam bands has this band called Egg in it. And it's actually really cool. It's a very pretty, it's kind of like, it's an more of an instrumental song, and it's just beautiful. It was a song that came on in a playlist that I wasn't paying more attention to it than waiting for something that I enjoyed, but then I came on and it was just beautiful, and then I had to stop what I was doing. I was working, I stopped, looked at it, what the hell is this? Cool, look at the record, played the song again, and then played a different song off the record and was like, oh, the rest of the music is totally different. I don't think I like this record. And then,
I got to be honest with you for a second.
yeah.
Mel came in with pizza,
Yeah.
and I only listened to half of that because I got really distracted. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Egg. The band is Egg.
Egg.
Egg. Okay.
Egg.
Egg.
I'm going to take a piece of pizza. And Walt, thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I'm good
I-
for now, actually.
I
Thank
think
you, though.
You do another jam?
we got to do another jam, but I
Hell
want to
yeah.
eat this pizza so bad that I have to
Do
talk.
pizza jam.
Pausing even an option?
No, there's no
Not in the-
there's
There's
no
no
pausing in
pausing.
real life.
All right.
We're in real life right
I
now.
could talk for a minute.
Great.
Moving
John Paul's
into the
gonna
next
say
phase, because I think it's the improvisation and the art of the jam,
Definitely.
and being the guest, I get the.
Right. The suggestion for the jam
Honorable
comes
task.
from John Paul.
Yes.
Either way, I got a bunch of guidance here: moods, phrase, keys, feelings, and so I chose a few.
Is there a feeling? Is there an emotion that comes to mind?
I cried a little bit.
I think we could have kept going. I think that's a perfect place to kill it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So what if we did this? What if I tried to play what I was playing in the beginning that Mike just referenced, but maybe I take my cues on the chord progression from you? Because what I was doing before was A, C, D, and just kind of rolling through that. Maybe you have a better progression for me, and I'll try to play the same thing in that progression.
Cool.
Is that what you're playing, basically?
Cool. Yeah. So
Long
it's-
A and then short G and D?
it's short. Yeah. D. The G's long too. Cool.
How'd you feel about that?
I felt good.
So now, before it gets away from us, everyone kind of think about what they just played and see if there's anything that they liked or surprised them about that jam. John Paul, do you have an answer?
We achieved, I think, a Moog cover shoot. So I'm
That's I
happy.
was thinking. I really like the mode. I love the way that shit sounds, man. That sounds. But yeah.
Trying to get sponsored, so Moog Music.
Yes, you would like to
Hit him up, Eddie Leonard.
You can your local Moog dealership. Go on down to Switched On. They'll get you hooked up.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Switched
All
On
your
for the
Moog
Moog.
needs.
For the Moog you're going to give us.
Comes in all different shapes and sizes for all your Moog needs.
Yes.
Agrees.
That was great. That was improvisational in the art of the jam. Pretty fun. I like that we, basically the second version of that was the same as the first.
Yeah. I just feel compelled to go to that beat with that thing. I don't know.
I like the boom down bad I like that for a minute. That's pretty cool. Okay, so everyone is. I think both Mike and Andy are the only ones who are actually in legit bands. So John Paul and I are in a band called Other Egg, but it's not really off the ground yet.
Is it an egg cover band?
It's an egg cover band.
Other can.
Yes. But y'all make shows happen. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, we get on stage and dance around and do our little monkey dance, and then you guys make the show fucking happen.
That's
We
true.
stand on the side
that is
going,
very true.
looks like the guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
So, since everyone kind of has talked about their musical endeavors, I think maybe it's what's more appropriate is for us to talk about what kind of role music has in your life. And what I have discovered as a human being is that most of the other people that are addicted to music as much as I am live a very strange life. I started playing when I was 10 years old. I kind of gave it up for a little while. I came back to it. I rediscovered the electric guitar. And then I tried playing basic keys and a bunch of other things. And then I finally found a project that I was into with another drummer, my friend Adam. Him and I kind of tooled into that thing for the better part of a decade. And then everyone phased to the next thing. And it just was the time to move to the next thing. And so I decided to start a podcast.
Okay.
So that's my story. I say all that because I think it's important for people to see a whole picture of something. You know, I've been playing for almost 25 years or 20 years or something like that, and it never has really looked like I was going to be successful, but I always looked like I was saving myself from a lot of bad feelings, and it always felt like I was in the right place. You know, and I don't know, I think it's a hard thing to do when you're playing music and you're trying to make your band into the next thing, or you're trying to express yourself, and that is can be a very lonely process. It can be a very difficult process. It can you'll feel crazy. I felt crazy most of my life. My whole family wrote me off 12 times to Tuesday, you know? So
Yeah.
I quit college with a full ride to go play music, and I could hear my family's eye roll from the college.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
Well, I think you're definitely right with regard to it being kind of a crazy life. And, you know, actually, I guess this is a good time to bring up this particular point. Today is exactly 11 years since I started drumming.
No way.
Nice.
Yeah, February 27th, 2008.
Happy drumiversary, my
Yes.
friend.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
And it's been quite a ride these past 11 years. And, you know, I had a guitar when I was a teenager, but I never played any shows or really developed, I guess, myself on it enough to where I felt I could perform in front of people. And it wasn't until I was 24 and picked up the drums and played it with my friend Robert at his place that it kind of, you know, just clicked. Yeah. And it's been, you know, a pretty amazing, crazy, awesome, but also really sad sometimes and lonely, you know, especially going on the road. You know, it's hard to be away from everything. I mean, your family and your girl for 2 months at a time, and there's a lot of cool experiences out there too, but there's also a lot of like homesickness as well. But I don't know, at the same time, like my life seemed to come into focus once I found music. You know, everything I've done to try to serve it has helped with different parts of my life, and that's kind of what I see myself, like my guiding lights are, you know, Nikki and music. And like as long as I do my best to serve those two powerful things in my life, then hopefully good things will come of it. And that's kind of what I'm, I guess, trying to do now. So.
Well, you know, some of this podcast is to invite other people to go down the journey of creative expression, because it's challenging and it seems weird. The silly name of the podcast is Soundwizards. Is that at some point after you've been doing it long enough, like, you know, people kind of forget that it's about a language. You know, you're creating a language with yourself in order to express the things that are going on in your head. Yeah. You know, I think it's weird. It looks weird for every person. It looks different for every person, you know. Andy, what do you think?
No, yeah, everything everyone said has been on the money, you know. I think, it's been a huge part of my life, you know, and everywhere from, like, you know, who my friends are, you know. I mean, I'm not like, I don't, you know, I'll be friends with anyone, but it just kind of like, it happens that all my friends are musicians or music lovers, people who support music, people who go to shows, people who I've played in bands with. I wouldn't live in Austin if it weren't for music. Like, I moved here almost 10 years ago now for music. So, and it just like, so like, not only like as far as just like the more physical things of like, it shaped who I am in those kind of ways, but also, like, just, I don't know, it's like I don't know what I'd do without music.
Right.
It's hard to remember a time where music wasn't a big part of my life. Like, I've noticed too, like if I take a vacation or something like that, and I'm away from any instrument for a period of time, I'll notice that my brain just goes crazy with musical ideas. Like, it more so than all of
genie's in the
that.
bottle.
Yeah, I'll just be like, I'll be out and like on a camping, something, hiking, something like that, and just like hiking and all these ideas. It's just like, so it's like, it's always there whether you have an instrument or not.
Yeah.
Some melodies are gonna pop into your head, and so, yeah.
Did you have somebody in your life that helped foster that part of your life?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. My dad was a musician growing up. He played guitar and sang, and it was kind of important for the family that they never wanted me necessarily to try to make a career out of it,
Right.
Because that's crazy. But
I would do that.
But no, like, like I said earlier, like making me take lessons, and just like it was a big part of the family. So all my siblings play, and so that, and yeah, some of my teachers growing up with piano, some of them were cooler than others. Like the ones I had as a teenager, kind of opened me up to a lot of like different kinds of rock and roll and stuff like that, and so. Yeah, I'd say throughout that, and then just being in bands, like, I would say even...
How many bands were you in so far?
So many. Like, in Phoenix, where I'm from, I was only in one for a really long time, or, like, different iterations of the same band for, like, 7 years, but since moving to Austin, I've probably been in, like serious bands, probably less than 10, maybe, like, 6 or so, but short term, like it only lasted a month or something like that. Like, yeah, probably, I don't know, several dozen.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
That were just like a quick thing, and then it was like either that didn't work or somebody else quit the band or who knows. So yeah.
That's wild. That's cool.
I'm sure as a bass player and a keys player, I mean, there's
Yeah.
endless bands that would
Bass especially. I've never been. Yeah, I then like just recently. This is the only band I've ever played keys for. So, and I'm still kind of getting up to the level where I feel like I can play anybody's songs, like
Gotcha.
To be a sit-in kind of guy on keys. But yeah, as bass, everyone's looking for a bass player,
Yeah.
and
That's why we invited you tonight. No.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for a bass.
Yeah.
everyone is.
It was all a ruse.
I'm sitting in actually this Friday. I guess whenever this airs, this will no longer be this coming Friday. But one of the bands is opening for Trouble in the Streets. I've actually been filling in on bass for the last couple shows.
That's pretty cool. What's it called?
Lunar Eclectic is their
Cool.
band.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's pretty jammy, funky, heavy. It's cool stuff. Yeah,
Sweet.
It's been fun. So
Nice.
it just kind of was serendipitous because they actually got the call from the agent, and like the opener dropped and nobody said anything to us, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we got an offer to open for you."
That's awesome.
I'm like, "Oh,
That's awesome.
all right." Nobody knew that I was in that band yet, so they're just kind of.
funny.
That's funny.
So you'll be doing double duty that night.
Yeah, I will be.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
That's pretty fun.
And there'll be some improv in that one too.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do a jam to be different.
Okay.
So
Cool.
what I think we should do is I think we should have Mike on Moog, Andy on drums,
Cool.
John Paul on bass, and me on guitar. John Paul's shaking his head no right now.
Not today.
Not today, he says.
Not today.
Could make it happen. You could make it happen. I'd give you the chord progression, and then we'd all play around you.
Not today. Ain't worth the time.
I believe in you, John Paul.
There will come a day.
All right.
Maybe I should play bass. Nah, I'll play guitar. Yeah, I think I should play bass.
Bass?
Cool.
I was
Okay.
thinking bass.
You can always play bass on this if you wanna, but it's.
Yeah, but I think if Mike's gonna be playing it, I
Or
think
maybe,
he should be able to play
maybe if
fun
you want to
stuff.
play it, I could play guitar. and then you could play the Moog.
You said you wanted to play it.
I do want to play.
Then
the
you
Moog.
should play it.
Okay.
This has been the Soundwizard podcast.
Yee-haw, Grandma. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yee-haw, Grandma. Cool.
Hell yeah. Not too bad. Now, what we do is we pack up all the shit with our microphones on. Pack it all up,
Pack it.
get it all ready to load out, and then we can take it back.
Loaded.
Because
Do
this
all
is an
the
important part of the music world, where you pack all your dumb, heavy, weird shit up, and then put it back in your car.
It is.
And you roll up all the dumb cables that look like a rat's nest everywhere.
That's why I play music.
Yeah. It's this part right here.
It's my favorite.
This is my favorite part. man, it's wild. It's
Yee-haw, Grandma.
right. Cool. I think the whole end of the podcast, in my opinion, kind of is like like a sound wash. You know, something that you just listen to. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just playing in the background while I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
And then every once in a while you hear like people say things in time with the music, and you're like, I love that.
So what were you saying you were gonna blend? You were gonna blend that with what at the end, or?
I think that we should, at the end, basically the conversation we had before the jam, and this time of us tearing down.
Just blend it with that outro jam.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It's like
I like
an
that
MTV
idea.
beach party vibe. It's just like music, like sounds everywhere,
Very
you know.
cool. Into that. That is cool. I'm glad I brought the Moog along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
Really changed things. I'm glad everyone got a chance to have fun with it.
Yeah. What would you if you hadn't played this? What would you have played?
If I had, well,
I'd say
I guess
you
just
have another
bass.
synthesizer, right?
Yeah, I do. I have another one that it's a Prophet is what it's called, and it's a full keyboard, and it is polyphonic, so you can do chords and all that kind of stuff.